What's up, everybody? It's guubums back with another guide video, I guess. Merry Christmas. So this is being filmed on Christmas Eve for everyone celebrating. And yeah, let's just get into the video. Okay, so no, the title is not a clickbait. Bard is literally the best unit in the game. If you guys have watched any high elo NA lobbies, like streamers or anything like that, you'll notice that like there's like two to even sometimes like four or five players playing around Bard every single game. And I would say 9 out of 10 ish are not rerolling it, right? So this is not broken because Bard is like some sort of reroll. Not at all. It's just because Bard provides a lot of money. And actually, if you follow China right now, if there was a tournament they played like last weekend where it was even more ridiculous. So this is actually kind of like what spurred the Renaissance or the Bard Renaissance, which has shaken up the meta entirely. Um, is that there was a CN tournament where they're playing literally like 7 bards in a lobby, and like people are just playing it on like stage 4. I even saw stage 5, which I think is like more ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, so Bard is so powerful that it completely changed up the meta. We're kind of like out of a fast 9 meta because like people were asking, it's like, hey, we're in a fast 9 meta, what do I do? What in the fast 9 meta, what do I do? Well, the answer is Bard. It's like if your opener's bad, what do you do? Bard. You don't have an econ augment 2-1, what do you do? Bard. And if you're, I can't make it to 9, what do I do? Well, you just play Bard. I want to reroll, what do I do? Well, you just play Bard. So anything but a win streak, you play Bard. Okay, so what does Bard do? So Bard functionally gives you, the only thing that matters is it gives you this caretaker trait, right? Like the actual unit functionally doesn't matter. I mean, he's actually like fairly strong, but whatever, who cares? After winning player combat, gain a random unit from Runeterra, just means any random unit. And after losing combat, gain free rerolls with the amount increasing by stage. So on stage 2, it gives you 1. On stage 3, it gives you 2. And then on stage 4, it gives you 3. And I think on stage 5, it also gives you 3. But on stage 5, it barely matters anymore, right? So this losing part is what makes it really strong. But just a quick note on the winning part, it's actually slightly tailored to your board. So it's not fully tailored. It won't give you a unit on your board every single round, and it certainly won't give you like any 3 or 4 costs. It has a higher chance of giving you a 1 or 2 cost that you played on your board, and it maybe even has to do with your bench. The exact logic on this, like kind of part of this trait, isn't exactly known yet. I'm sure like more details will be released as the set goes on, but as of right now, we don't know. We just know that it's somewhat tailored towards the units on your board. But again, the more important part is this losing part, where you gain rerolls after losing. So first of all, kind of like let's talk about how to unlock Bard real quick. It's very simple. It's just reroll 4 times on 2-1, 2-2, or 2-3. I think it works on stage 1, but let's just assume you won't roll on stage 1 because that is more or less ridiculous. So let's just assume most of the time you're going to unlock this on either 2-1 or 2-3. The reason why you don't unlock it on 2-2 is that most of the time you would never, like, either if you want to unlock it on 2-2, you should have unlocked it on 2-1. Or if you wanted to unlock it on 2-2, you might as well wait until 2-3. The reason why you often wait until 2-3 is because that's when you natural level 4. You generally want to roll on level 4 because there's a lot of 3 costs that can give you some direction. But we'll talk about the rolling for him in just a second. So yes, most of the time, you roll for this guy on 2-3. You want to accompany it with any of the augments that kind of give you rolls in the early game. So just off the top of my head, Patience of Virtue is really strong now. Epoch is really strong now. Created Crafting is really strong now. Anything that gives you rerolls. Priz Ticket is really strong. Priz Ticket is like especially strong, honestly. There's like a little bit of a nuance there that I can talk about where pretty much the rolls you get from Bard scale with the rolls you use from Priz Ticket. So you don't, pretty much the way Priz Ticket works is I think you get like 66-ish% more rolls, like 60, maybe it's like 70 now, honestly. I don't know the exact numbers on it anymore, but it should be anywhere between 66 to 70% more rolls per roll. And what that means is that for every Bard roll you get, you actually get 70% more. So if you count a reroll as 2 gold, if you have Priz Ticket, it's worth like 3.4 gold, right? Which is kind of insane. Again, the exact numbers on that is not something you have to worry about too much. But pretty much anything that gives you rerolls in the early game is now extremely strong. Upworld mobility. And all of this is only because you can use free rolls to unlock Bard without like hurting your econ at all. But it is broken even if you have to hurt your econ to unlock Bard. And the reason for that is like, okay, let's just say for like an example's sake that you have to lose until 3-5. Just like whatever. You choose to lose streak, play your game through lose streak, and you unlock Bard. We paid 8 gold to unlock Bard on stage 2. And that, obviously that costs us 8 gold. And let's just say we lose like 4 to even 6 gold in breakpoints, right? So let's just say we lose on the high end 6 gold. That's 14 gold total between 8 and 6, and that being 14. If you go from 2-3 all the way to 3-5, also 6 is pretty unrealistic, but let's just say 2-3 all the way until 3-5, that's three rounds on stage 3 and 2 rounds on stage 2. So that is a total of 2 plus 6 rolls equals 20 rolls. or sorry, equals 10 rolls, 8 rolls, equals 16 gold, right? So baseline, you're already making money from doing that. However, you also get those 8 rolls, or sorry, those 4 rolls that you do on stage 2 aren't actually strictly -2 gold. So this is like something I struggle to explain to players that kind of like view the game in a very like almost pessimistic manner, where if you roll 4 times, like you automatically lost 8 gold. The reason why this 8 gold is not in strict loss is because you can actually roll for stuff that you want. So the dominant things in the meta that you want to roll for is just like anything that gives you a strong opener. So say you're playing Trin reroll, like you can roll for Ashen Trin Demirs and have a couple copies in the early game, and then you play Bard all the way until 3-2, 3-5. Oftentimes you're playing it on stage 4, to be honest, but let's just say you're playing it until 3-5 for the most basic calculation. You're still going positive, as well as you can hit some of your units early, or you can upgrade your board and you can start winning, right? It's like fine to win a couple rounds on Bard, because that just means you can keep Bard in for longer, right? Like say you don't lose all the way until 3-5 and you won like 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, but that means we can play Bard on stage 4 and then take some losses on stage 4, and we're getting 6 gold on stage 4, right, per loss, which is completely ridiculous. Yeah, so there's just a lot of things you can do. You can also talk about like trying to get another econ trait online through Bard, right? So say one of the Ionias the Ionia of the game is one of the econ traits, right? Like there's the XP one obviously, and there's the gold one, right? So if you roll for, let's say it's the gold one specifically, you can roll for like upgraded Shen, upgraded Jin on stage 2, and then you actually get more gold by rolling for them, because you get the econ trait that gives you gold for kills. And then not only do you have the trait online, but you can actually upgrade the unit. So one of the times I played, I actually just rolled and I upgraded 2-star Jin, 2-star Shen, which again, it won't happen every time. Sometimes maybe I had a pair before I did it. I don't know, who knows, right? Like it's one of the options that's presented to you through rolling, right? Like when you roll, you're obviously presented with options per roll, and then you have to reevaluate how you want to operate your spot based on what you see in that shop, which is obviously your options. And like in this case, I upgraded Jin 2, Shen 2, and it was the Ionia that gave you a bunch of gold, like gold per 3 takedowns, which ultimately netted me like probably like tens of 20s of gold by the time I actually rolled down, right? Like between the winning with Bard, between losing with Bard, obviously, and then between the Ionia wins and kills. So you can roll for that, and then finally you can obviously roll for Ixtal. Just hit this. You have to be level 4 for this because you don't have level 3 odds on level 3. Sorry, you don't have 3 cost odds on level 3, but like for the most part, this is pretty simple. You can just roll for this. These are just one of the many things you should roll for. Now, as in terms of a game plan, because this is like a lose streak kind of playstyle, you do want to think about what happens when you finish lose streaking, right? Like it's really easy for me to tell you, okay, we should play Ionia, and then like if we have it, the Econ Ionia, but like what do you actually play if you happen to lose every round, right? So like obviously this is a more optimal case, but if you lose every round, you can actually just play one of the level 7 all-in boards, which is going to be Diana or Draven. So then what would happen in these cases, like normally you take Bow off Carousel on 2-3, obviously because you've lost 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, so you should at least be first pick or second pick, right? Sometimes a decent number of the time you'll have access to Bow, you take the Bow, and then you can try to angle around Diana or Draven, because these comps go in at 3-5, you can go level 7, roll to 0 for Draven 2 or Leona 2. Obviously Leona 2 unlocks Diana. If you guys want to learn how to play either of these comps, I talked about it in my previous video, or one of my previous videos, so you guys can check those out. But this is like general game plan for trying to play around Bard. And then as for like when do you unlock Bard, it's like, yeah, anytime you have one of those augments that I talked about earlier that gives you free rolls on stage 2, you can unlock them. But normally it's just a lose streak kind of setup. Sometimes, as I already mentioned, is like you can upgrade your board and then like turn it into a win streak while still playing Bard, and then it hedges against your losses. So like say you're strong enough to win rounds, but you're not strong enough to streak, then playing Bard becomes powerful as well, because it just gives you more benefit on your losses, as well as like you still end up saving some HP and you still end up with more gold than someone who kind of doesn't have Bard, right? Now, one of the kind of like caveats to playing this is that like, yes, we kind of talked about the gold value of rerolls, but there is some nuance to that, is that like gold value of rerolls is still only rerolls, right? Like it's not true gold value, so you can't always like say level to 8 with like 10 gold remaining and then use all your rerolls and hit your board, because you literally can't afford your board at that point. So there is a little bit of a balance. Sometimes you might be going into level 8 on 4-5 depending on the line you ended up playing. But yeah, so some like augments that kind of give you like real gold, as in like actual gold, will benefit this playstyle or this line even more. But yeah, if you guys haven't been playing Bard in your elo, you guys definitely should be, because it is so incredibly broken. And I hope you guys found this video educational. And as always, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down in the comment section below, or feedback or whatever. Subscribe, and yeah, you can check the links in the description for where you can find more of my content. Peace.